Greetings, I'm Grama Jean, and this begins my reading of the first volume of my trilogy, Smile, Nile, Inheritance. I'm sitting here at my kitchen table. Well, my dining area is in my kitchen. My home is just the right size for this widow. We'll begin this storytime journey with the prologue, and then move chapter by chapter, part by part. I'll be reading about 4 to 5 pages each session. Don't want you all falling asleep on me like the kids did during bedtime. So here we go. Let's get this pro on the road here. I've got my marker, so I know where we're starting. Here we go. Smile every mile to earn your inheritance, not just the land. After you both together have walked the perimeter of the ranch, it will all be yours to do with whatever you want. Hopefully, you will choose to earn your inheritance. These are the directions from the last will and testament of Charles Thomas O'Sullivan. Directions for Thomas and Ella, his niece and nephew, children of his only sister. When she, Mary Ann, and her husband, Michael Owen Murphy, were killed in a train wreck, Charles raised their children, then ages 10 and 6, respectively. Charles was born and raised a farmer in Wyoming. He retired from the Army after serving 20 years and became a rancher in Montana. He served his country from December 1941 to December 1961. He had never married again after the war. That's World War II. His one and only true love, Angela, had died while he was serving overseas. He felt that he could never love anyone that much ever again, and after the war, he felt he was not fit to be around someone that closely. Charlie went about living a good Christian life. He was a pillar of the community of Valley Town, always there to help whenever there was a need. Summer, winter, spring, or fall, Uncle Charlie was there to help us all. That's what they put on his gravestone, along with the stats. Died age 81, 1910 to 1991, and, well, of course, his full name. He had a big heart and some bad habits, mostly swearing and his Irish temper, as he called it. He stayed away from the taverns out of fear. He was afraid the liquor would take over his life like it had done so many of his Army buddies. For the last 30 years, Charlie, who was tough, tall, and fit as a fiddle, as he would say, lived in the farming community of Lower Montana near Butte by Pipestone Pass. Although he was raised in Wyoming, he loved the mountains of Montana. He had a successful family-oriented dude ranch. He was Uncle Charlie to many of the families in his area and to his dude ranch guests, who became his family. The ranch had a half-acre garden that feeds several of his surrounding neighbors and his guests. The ranch is a full 16 sections of land. That's 10,240 acres, with 16 miles of perimeter fenced off. Over 3/4 of that land is in a steep forested mountain range up to High Mountain Meadow. After all, it's the Rocky Mountains. There are several good-sized mountains on those sections with plenty of small valleys and stony gullies to explore. The original 320 acres were more level. That's a half a section where the houses and barns are located, as well as the lower 4 sections for farming and pasture lands. Thomas and Ella had grown up in the city of Portland, Oregon, and didn't take much to ranch life when they were visiting when they were younger. They had liked to come and visit their Uncle Charles in the summer for a few weeks of summer fun. They never helped him with the chores. They especially didn't like gardening chores, or any chores for that matter, after all. They said they had got enough of that at home, so they just visited. They made friends with the kids down the road and just kept doing their own thing on each visit. When they came to live with Uncle Charles, they tried to keep their visiting habits. Yet, when they moved in, those garden and other chores were no longer an option. They were required. They had managed to get whatever they wanted with the allowance from their parents' accident insurance money. Charlie never denied them that privilege. Both went to college with the insurance money. For Thomas, it was a serious matter. He knew what he wanted and had a plan. For Ella, it was merely she went for the fun of it. She didn't really take time to plan for her life. They both did maintain good enough grades to be in the high levels of the college society, and both graduated with honors. Thomas, tall and lanky, Ella just called him awkward, was not interested in sports. He liked science and was a true nerd. He continues to be just that, even now that he is 35. Thomas has been married to Barbara Patton for 11 years. They have 3 children. He works at the research lab in Portland, Oregon. Ella, short and slender, Thomas calls her the family pixie, is a girly girl. She majored in English and speech and drama, with a secondary in dance and gymnastics, and looking good. At her age, 31, she is still looking good. Ella has been married to James Doyle, an actor, for 10 years. They frequently travel to his movie sites together. They have no children and live in the hills of Malibu, California, near Pepperdine University, where Ella teaches dance and gymnastics. Charlie is trusting Bruce and Maria to help the kids, as he calls them, make it through the trial of his passing. Bruce has been a trusted friend and army buddy for decades and helped with the startup of the ranch. He and Maria raised their family of 5 children right there on the ranch, right along with helping raising Thomas and Ella. So Charlie is kind of sure they will be the help for the kids at this sorrowing time. A camera crew was hired by Charlie before he passed on to make a documentary of the events that would unfold at and after the reading of the main part of the will. Get the next page. Oops. One finger didn't turn it just right. Okay, there I am. I found my spot. Ralph, a tall, sports-active type fellow who served in the Army Air Force a few years, is from Texas. He is basically a fun-loving kind of guy in his late 30s who is always observant of things around him. Paul is from New Jersey, 40 years old, of medium height and build. Oh, built solid. After all, he served in the Marines over 10 years. Yet he has a tender heart, enjoys people and new places. They were hired for their skills and compatibility. They need to adapt to the kids as they are filming this documentary. It's to be just like the home movies, adventures that Charlie had made of Thomas and Ella over the years. The kids are about to have another adventure. How will Thomas and Ella handle the parting of their Uncle Charlies, who had raised them for the past 25 years after their parents died? Will the kids simply walk the land and then sell the ranch? Will they overcome their differences and competitiveness and decide what to do with the ranch he wants to leave to them? Will they finally learn what their Uncle Charlie had been trying to teach them for the past 25 years and get their true inheritance? Will they let the light of Christ back into their life? Well, that's about it for now. We'll continue next session and join them in their story as it is happening. Well, that wraps up this session. Next time, we'll continue with Chapter 1. Remember to get your own copy of Smile Mile Inheritance. Just go to my website, gramajeanbooks.com. Then you can follow right along. Till then, may the good Lord continue to bless you and yours as you go forth with kindness and love. Bye-bye now. Love hugs from Grama Jean.